Have you ever come across a quote so powerful it didn't just inspire you, it completely changed your life? Hi everyone, and welcome to Prosperity Magic, where we decode the mindset behind wealth and success. Let me ask you this, is there a phrase or proverb that shaped the way you see the world? For me, there are 4 simple words that unveiled the secrets of this universe: belief becomes reality. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that sound like just another New Year's wish or an empty motivational line? But for me, it became a life philosophy, a daily mantra, a truth so profound that it guided me from having absolutely nothing as a broke college student to the abundant life I now enjoy. I first encountered this phrase in a book that changed my life forever. It's called Meeting Myself Again by Jean Defen. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it completely transformed how I perceive the world. You see, we all live in 2 realities. The first is the external world, the one you see when you open your eyes. People, money, success, failure, houses, cars, all the tangible things. Most of us believe that's the real world. But the truth is just a reflection. The world that truly governs our destiny is the one behind closed eyes. The inner world, the beliefs that whisper when you're alone, the emotions that rise before logic, and the thoughts you carry even in silence. So, what shapes your thoughts? The answer is your subconscious mind. And here's the most important part: what you believe to be true becomes your truth. If you believe you're poor, your thoughts, actions, and decisions will reflect that belief. You'll see luxury items as things that don't belong to you. You won't allow yourself to desire them, let alone chase them. And because you've subconsciously disqualified yourself, you'll never find a way to earn them. This is what I finally understood from the phrase, belief becomes reality. If, deep down, you can convince your mind and soul that you are wealthy, then one day you will be. Ancient wisdom often hides life-changing truths. Unfortunately, over time, we treat them as cliches or ceremonial greetings. Personal testimony: when I stepped into the world with nothing, this principle, shared in Meeting Myself Again, was my anchor. If you ask me to recommend just one book that shaped my thinking, I choose this one without hesitation. Because the truth is, no matter how many get-rich strategies you learn, if your subconscious mind still thinks like a poor person, you will never escape poverty. Even today, despite earning more than many people, running a thriving business, and watching my investments grow, my own parents still carry a scarcity mindset. They can't fully believe the life I've created is real. They still live frugally, cling tightly to every penny, and can't understand why I spend freely. But the more I spend, the more money flows back to me. Meanwhile, the more they save, the poorer they seem to feel. Why? Because money is energy and it needs to flow. I once told them, money doesn't belong to you until you spend it. When they started watching my videos, they slowly began to understand. But habits shaped by decades of scarcity don't disappear overnight. This is what we call the subconscious mind, the silent force shaping your reality. The book Meeting Myself Again taught me how to reprogram my inner world, so that what I believe becomes what I live. And in today's video, I want to take you even deeper. I'll begin with a story from Robert Kiyosaki's book Fake, to help you better understand how powerful the subconscious really is. Then, I'll freely share the life-changing insights I've gained from Meeting Myself Again, with the hope that you, too, can break free from the poverty mindset once and for all. But before we dive in, let me say this clearly: this channel, Prosperity Magic, is built for entrepreneurs, investors, and those who are serious about wealth. If you're someone who wants powerful ideas for free that help you transform your mindset, your income, and your life, then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I truly hope every viewer who likes this video will one day achieve complete financial freedom. And if you find this content valuable, please consider sharing it so that more people can receive this knowledge and change their lives. Now let's talk about something most people have never heard. Robert Kiyosaki once had an out-of-body experience. It happened during a military mission when he was flying a helicopter. Suddenly, the engine failed. Imagine that moment. You're in the sky, thousands of feet above the ocean, and your aircraft starts to drop. Most people would panic. But Kiyosaki says that, in that moment, he felt his spirit separate from his body. He became the observer. Vivid description: time seemed to stop. He saw himself and his crew from outside the helicopter. But instead of fear, he felt peace. A calm, deep compassion for everyone around him. He describes it as transcending logic. He was no longer acting from the mind, he was acting from the heart, from intuition, from his subconscious self. And just before the helicopter hit the water, His body instinctively adjusted the controls and saved their lives. That, to me, is the true power of inner awareness. You might call it spirituality, or intuition, or subconscious mastery. Whatever name you give it, one thing is clear. It's stronger than logic. And if you can learn to align your beliefs with your vision, then reality will follow. In our last discussion, we explored how the subconscious mind shapes our reality, and how Robert Kiyosaki's near-death experience revealed the power of acting from the heart, not just the mind. Now, let me tell you a story, one that might just shift how you view your life, your mind, and your purpose on this earth. Once upon a time, every one of us was a small angel sent down to earth. The universe, some call it God, some call it Source, was looking for volunteers. Volunteers to go to Earth and turn it into a paradise. But this mission wasn't easy. It wasn't as simple as spreading love or building peace. No, the real challenge was much deeper. One curious angel asked the Creator, "Why would creating heaven on earth be so difficult?" And the Creator smiled and replied, "Because I have given human beings a brain." The angels were puzzled. "How's that a bad thing?" one of them asked. The Creator responded, "Because once humans have a brain, they will let it control everything, and they will gradually forget where they came from. They will forget heaven. And that's exactly what happens. The moment we are born, our parents begin shaping our thoughts. They teach us to think like them, to believe in their truths, their limitations. Then we go to school, and their teachers define for us what intelligence looks like and what it doesn't. Who is smart? Who is dumb? Who belongs? And who never will?" The angel asked again. "So, is our mission to overcome the control of the mind, remember who we truly are, and build heaven on earth?" The Creator replied, "Yes, that is exactly your task." Another angel, concerned, asked, "But what if we forget? What if we never remember who we truly are?" The Creator looked with compassion and said, "Then you will die, and be reborn. Again and again. You will repeat the cycle of life and death. Until one day, you awaken and remember your divine nature." If you've studied Buddhism, this might sound familiar. It echoes the concept of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Contrary to popular belief, samsara isn't just about suffering in hell. It's about the journey of learning, growing, and eventually awakening to enlightenment, to realize who you truly are, to become one with the divine. That's why some of the wealthiest and most enlightened people today often follow Buddhist principles, because they understand the deeper truth. Returning to our tale, the Creator told the angels, when humans go to earth, they will be taught how to pray. Prayer will be their way of communicating with me. But, the Creator added, when they pray, they will speak, but I will not. Not with words. The little angel asked, "Then how will you talk to us?" And the Creator answered, "I am always speaking to you. Always by your side. But you can no longer hear my voice. Until your mind becomes quiet. Until you find stillness. When you are truly quiet inside, when you allow your mind to rest, you will feel the presence of something greater. You'll begin to sense that everything around you, every tree, every breath, every moment, is a part of that divine whisper." This story ends here, but the message it carries continues. So, let me ask you. Have you ever felt that quiet, sacred space within you? That space where nothing needs to be said, yet everything is understood? That space is where you reconnect with who you really are. It's where the voice of the Creator can finally reach you again. And how do we reach this space? Through meditation. Or as Zen Buddhism calls it, sitting meditation. Meditation isn't some mysterious ritual. It's simply the practice of observing your mind. Watching your thoughts come and go, without grabbing onto them. Letting the noise settle. Until what remains is clarity. Now, some of you may be wondering, is this really useful? Isn't meditation just for monks or spiritual people? If you're asking that question, it means you're thinking with your rational mind. And that's okay. But remember, everything you believe is based on what you've experienced through the five senses. What you've seen, heard, touched, or read. Yet all of that information comes from the outside world. Your eyes can deceive you. What looks beautiful may hide darkness. What seems confident may be covering insecurity. For example, you might meet a man who looks perfect, handsome, kind, professional. But over time, something inside you whispers something isn't right. And eventually, you discover he's not who he pretended to be. This is why so many people are misled in life and in love. They rely only on what they see and think only with logic. But they forget to feel with their heart. Robert Kiyosaki survived a helicopter crash not because he analyzed the situation, but because he felt. He acted from the heart, from a place beyond fear, beyond logic. Even in a war zone, even when death is near, those who remember their divine nature continue building heaven on earth. Because peace and war are just two sides of the same coin. And I believe a Robert had awakened. And so have many of the world's most successful people. Think about it: Steve Jobs, the genius behind Apple. Elon Musk, the visionary behind Tesla. Even Michael Jordan, the basketball legend, all of them practiced meditation. In fact, Steve Jobs even had a meditation room in his office. Before making any major decision, he would go in, close the door, sit in silence, and only then choose his next move. Ask yourself, why do such brilliant minds, people who've changed the world, prioritize something as simple as stillness? The answer is, because inspiration doesn't come from the outside. It rises from within. That thing we call intuition is not magic. It's your subconscious finally speaking after you've quieted the noise. And if you believe in the stories I've shared so far, then you'll understand. When you meditate, when your mind becomes still, you are finally able to hear the voice of the divine. Recently, while joining a group of high-level thinkers, one member shared a beautiful practice that truly inspired me. He started journaling his dreams. Then, he would write down his feelings during emotional moments. What am I feeling right now? He'd ask himself. What triggered this emotion? By tracing his emotions back step by step, he could quickly return to a calm, centered state. This simple habit allowed him to have honest conversations with his subconscious. I found it so powerful I had to share it with you. Because the ability to connect with your inner world. That's where the magic begins. Many people still doubt the power of the inner world. They say it's too abstract, too vague. But not only Robert. Countless great minds have talked about this. Authors, philosophers, visionaries. Even the famous book, The Law of Attraction, is built on the same idea that your inner world creates your outer world. The book Meeting Myself Again explains it perfectly. Let me ask you, do you know what the subconscious really is? It's the invisible line that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. We all live in two realities, the one we see with our eyes, and the one we feel with our soul. Folded hands. If you found value in today's message, I invite you to subscribe to Prosperity Magic for more powerful insights like this. Leave a comment below and let me know what resonated with you most. I read everyone. And if you believe someone in your life needs to hear this, share the video. Because together, we can help each other remember who we truly are. Previously, we explored how the inner world shapes your outer world. How meditation and stillness help you reconnect with your true self. Now let's go deeper into the forces that silently govern your behavior, your beliefs, and ultimately your destiny. So, what truly determines our actions? What is the invisible rule behind every decision we make? According to the book Meeting Myself Again, what we see as the outside world isn't the ultimate reality. It's simply a mirror, a reflection of our inner world. Just like when you look in a mirror, the image you see isn't real, it's a result of light and angles. Similarly, the world around you is shaped by your internal state. If your inner world is abundant, peaceful, and empowered, your external world will reflect exactly that. So, whether you live in wealth or poverty, happiness or suffering, it all begins within. Many people confuse inner awareness with logical thinking, like the thoughts you use to solve a math problem. But that's not your inner world. Your inner world, your subconscious, is the part of you that absorbs experiences without effort. It's the voice inside that has been shaped since birth. A voice you didn't consciously choose, but one that quietly drives everything you do. And if you want to change your life, you must learn to rewire that inner voice. Take Rich Dad Poor Dad for example. One of its core messages is that the difference between rich and poor people lies in how they think. If someone with a poor mindset sees an expensive item like a luxury bag, they immediately say, "I can't afford it." But someone with a rich mindset asks, "How can I afford it?" That shift in thinking from limitation to possibility comes directly from the subconscious. Most people's inner worlds were shaped in childhood. Parents unintentionally passed down limiting beliefs. Schools trained us to become employees, not creators. From daycare to graduation, we were molded to fit into one narrow mold. And that mold told us we were ordinary. So when you look inside and feel like you're not special, not powerful, or not worthy, you're not alone. You were programmed that way. Children born into wealth are taught differently. They're mentored by people who believe in abundance, who teach them to become investors and entrepreneurs, not just employees. So their inner world is filled with prosperity, and in turn, they build prosperous lives. It's no accident that 3% of the world controls 70% of its wealth. They think differently. They feel differently. They are different inside. And if you want to change your financial future, you must start by changing your inner reality. In Buddhism, it's said, all things arise from the mind. Ancient wisdom says, your appearance follows your mind. That's why I believe in physiognomy, because your face, your posture, your energy are reflections of your inner world. Many people blame external things for their failures, partners, parents, bad luck. But the real issue is, their inner world was never strong enough. Deep down, their subconscious never believed they were meant to succeed. Your subconscious drives your conscious thoughts. Your conscious thoughts shape your habits. Your habits dictate your emotions. And all of that determines your level of success. Many people want to start a business to escape the 9-to-5 and live freely. But their subconscious says, I'm just an average person. I can't do that. They believe entrepreneurship is too risky, too hard. They tell themselves only 3% succeed. They look at their own lives and say, I'm not one of them. So they never start. Not because they're incapable, but because they've already lost the battle in their mind. Let me share a powerful story from a book. There was once a horse pulling a carriage. The horse thought it was in control. But on the carriage sat a driver who thought he was in control. But in the end, the one who truly decided the direction was the passenger in the back. The one who paid for the journey. That story hit me hard, because it made me realize we are all the carriage. But who is really controlling us? Is it the horse, our impulses? The driver, our logic? Or the passenger, our higher self? We all have three parts. The ego self, the horse which reacts impulsively, acts out of emotion, and often makes reckless choices. The social self, the driver who tries to be rational, logical, and socially acceptable. And the true self, the passenger, who holds your real purpose, your deepest wisdom. If the ego is in charge, you'll hurt others and regret it. If the social self is in charge, you'll live to please everyone else. But if the true self is in charge, you'll live a life of peace, clarity, and fulfillment. Most people never live for themselves. As a child, they live for their parents. In school, for teachers. In marriage, for their partner. Then for their children. But never for themselves. Those who are ruled by the social self suffer silently, because their soul is crying out but no one listens. Not even them. So ask yourself, what are you really searching for in life? A car? A house? More money? No. What you truly desire is not happiness. It's something deeper, joy. Happiness is temporary. You feel it when you get something new, but it fades. Joy comes from within. It doesn't depend on circumstances. Those who live with inner joy are enlightened. They radiate calm, confidence, and love. They don't brag when rich and they don't despair when poor, because they know everything outside is fleeting. But the inner world is eternal. If you still get angry at how others treat you, if you regret the past, or feel unlucky in life, then you haven't awakened yet. You are still living from the ego or the social self. But when you live from the true self, you find peace. You see that everything, even setbacks, are teachers. And your outer world becomes a mirror of your growth. Remember, the subconscious doesn't live in the brain. It lives in the heart. That's why the heart forms first in the womb. Why it never gets cancer. Why it keeps beating when all else fails. The heart is your gateway to your true self. So when something in life upsets you, don't look outward. Look inward. Ask yourself, what part of me is being shaken? What belief needs healing? Don't waste energy resisting what you can't change. Redirect it toward what you can change. Because every success, every failure, every joy, and every pain begins in your inner world. If you found this message meaningful, please subscribe to Prosperity Magic, hit the bell icon, and leave a comment. Let me know what part of today's video resonated most. And until next time, remember, the power to transform your life has always been within you.